Okay, so we're on page 63. At the top it says the verb gustar, which means, look at the footnote, it says number 4. The footnote says the verb gustar literally means to please. So it doesn't mean to like something, it means to please. So when something pleases somebody else. When you want to say that you like your class, or I like my class, you're actually saying the class pleases me. So you'll notice that the words are me gusta. Let's look at these examples here. Me gusta la clase de español. Me gusta el coro. Me gustan todas mis clases. Me gustan las ciencias. So the word is me every time, which means me, and it doesn't mean I. So let's compare that to another verb that we should know by now, which is hablar. It would be yo hablo, I speak. When yo is the subject pronoun, which means that it's the word referring to whoever is the one doing the action. And just the same thing in English. When you say I, it means you're the one doing the action. So in this case, just like in English, when we say the word me, you never say me when you're the one doing the action. When you say me, you're the one receiving the action and somebody else is doing it to you, which is why you don't ever say me hit. You say I hit. And it's why you don't ever say he hit I. You would say he hit me, right? Because you're the one receiving the action. The word me in English and in Spanish, me, is the word that refers to the direct object, and that's the one that receives the action. So when the verb that we use to say I like something, in English I say I like, which means I'm doing the action of liking it. But in Spanish it's backwards. It's the object is doing the action of pleasing, and I'm the one receiving it, so it's pleasing me. So it's backwards. In Spanish they do it opposite than English does when we say I like. But anyway, when we use the verb gustar, we translate it, even though it's not a literal translation, we just say I like instead of it pleases me. So if you want to say I like, you're going to say me gusta. You just need to understand it's actually saying it pleases me. Okay? Any questions about that so far? Okay. We'll get more into how direct object pronouns like me and subject pronouns like yo, how they work later on. But for now, I want you to focus more on memorizing these, and then you can work with what you've memorized later on. So let's read these again. Me gusta la clase de español, which means I like Spanish class. Me gusta el coro, I like choir. Me gustan, notice it changed from me gusta to me gustan. Me gustan todas mis clases. Does anybody have any guess what changed in the sentence so that it would change from gusta to gustan? Why would it change like that? What is something else that changed in the sentence? Me gusta el coro. Me gustan, or let's do the first and third one. Me gusta la clase de español. Me gustan todas mis clases. What's different? They're both talking about class or classes, right? So what's different? Yeah, Daisy.
It's plural.
Exactly. The second one is plural. So when the thing doing the pleasing is plural, you need to change gusta to gustan. So if you look at that verb up there on the board, this is from Spanish too, but it's still the same. You've got the endings. That's what I want you to notice. O, es, e. This is for IR verbs. Imos, is, ein. Notice the third person, both of them, singular and plural. It says dice, which ends with the vowel e, and then dicen, which ends with an n. So that's the difference between singular and plural, and it's the same with gustar. So gusta is third person singular, which would be on that bottom left where it says dice. That's gusta. But then gustan with the n would be right where it says dicen. So they're both third person. They both mean they, but gusta means it, singular, and gustan means they, plural. So good. Okay, me gustan las ciencias. So the sciences is plural, so they, gustan, they please me. As you probably noticed in the examples to the left, you will use gusta if what pleases you or what you like is singular, and gustan if what pleases you is plural. So if you want to ask what someone else likes, then the pronoun changes from me, which is me, to te, which is you. You when you're the one receiving the action. So te. Te gusta la clase? Notice that the only thing that changed was the me and the te. Right? Te, let's do the first example. Me gusta la clase. I like the class. You don't have to say Spanish in this case. We're just comparing it, right? Me gusta la clase or te gusta la clase. The only thing that changed is me or te, because everything else is still the same. The class is still the thing doing the pleasing. What changed is who's being pleased, me or you, right? So me or te is what changes. ¿Te gusta la clase? Do you like the class? Or do you like the classes? ¿Te gustan las clases? Any questions on how gustar works? Okay, so how do we... Yeah, Ben.
So why don't we just use gustar in place of gustar? Why do we change to a?
Okay, so let's conjugate it up. Okay, so why do we change the verb gustar from gustar to gusta when somebody is doing the action? Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Gustar means what? To please, exactly. So this word, gustar, means to please. That's what it means. Is there anybody doing this action right now? In this phrase, is anybody doing it? No. Right. There's nobody doing the action, which means there's no, what? It starts with an S. Subject, exactly. So there's no subject. Once we change this word by getting rid of the AR and adding other letters, depending on what letter you add, you're going to be adding a subject. Okay, so let's start with another verb that you should already know. Hablar, which means what? To speak. Okay, so now we have another infinitive. That's what these are. These are infinitives because they're forms of a verb that don't have a subject. This isn't really the same related word, but they're infant verbs, right? They're just the beginning. So there's no subject yet. They haven't grown up to have a person. So they're infinitives. So this is an AR verb, just like gustar. And how do you change this when we want to say I speak or you speak, right? We have 6 squares based on this chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we add these endings. We're going to take the root, which is this right here, and we're going to put it on all of them. Because the root for this word is not changing. It's only the last letters that change in order to tell you who is doing the action. So, once we have our root, now we're going to take the AR, we're going to get rid of it, and we're going to add specific letters that refer to who is who. So if I'm referring to first person singular, which is this square, that would be me. First person includes myself, but it's singular, so it's by myself, so that's I. If I'm the one doing the action, we're talking about subjects here, right? If I'm the one doing the action, then you add an O. If you, in this case I'm talking to Jua, if you are the one doing the action, or if I'm talking to Daisy, if you, both of those are one person, right? I'm not talking to both of them at the same time. I'm not talking to all of you, just one person, but it's not me. And it's you, the word you. That would be hablas, A-S. So we're talking about these letters that we put at the end. What's this one? Hablo, hablas. What about he or she speaks? What's the ending? Huh? Habla, right, just an A. Okay, and then the other ones are we speak, amos, ice, and an. So let's just focus on these ones right here. This is an AR verb, and gustar is an AR verb. So let's write the same chart again. Singular, plural. 1, 2, 3. We have gusto, right? Just like hablo. Different root, because it's a different verb, but the endings are identical, because it's both an AR verb. So different root, gustas. O, as, a. Gusta. And there's the word that we've been working with. Gusta. So the word changes from the infinitive, which means to do something, and changes the ending to tell you who's the one doing the action. So normally, if I want to say I speak, that means I'm the one doing the action of the verb speaking. So I say hablo, right? So why do I not say gusto if I want to say I like? Because aren't I the one doing the action when I say I like? Why do I not say gusto? Exactly, because even though in English I am doing the action of liking, in Spanish I'm the one receiving the action, and the thing is doing the action of pleasing me. So the thing changed, right? So if we think about it, I like, who's the subject? I like it. Who's the subject? Huh? No, in English. In English. I, right. So we have the subject here. What's the verb? Like. And what's the direct object? It. Right. Okay, good. You guys all took 9th grade English. Good for you. Okay, now, the same thing in English. It pleases me. Okay, now, who's the subject? It, exactly. What's the verb? Pleases. And what is the direct object? Me, exactly. So, in English, I can say it both ways, which is nice. But in Spanish, you can only say it one way. You can't say I like something in Spanish. There's no verb for liking. There isn't a verb for it. They only have this verb, which means you will only have this construction where it's using yourself as the direct object. Now, what's different is that in Spanish, they place the direct object at the beginning. So instead of it pleases me, which would be gusta, or maybe like, if we're talking about she, like, I like her, okay? She pleases me. So now it would be ella gusta me, right? That's the same thing. She gusta pleases me. Same thing. But in Spanish, this is wrong. Because when you use gustar, it's me gusta, and then whatever the object or the person is. Okay? Any questions? Does that answer your question, Ben?
Yeah.
Good, good. It was a really good question. So, okay. So now let's look at the days of the week. Let me get my book now. Okay, bottom half of page 63 says the days of the week, los días de la semana. So let's start with that phrase, los días. Anybody want to take a picture of this or something? Because I'm going to erase it. Oh, you got notes? Okay, go ahead. Oh, wait. All right, so los días de la semana. Días. Is that masculine or feminine? And is it singular or plural? Feminine? And singular or plural? Plural? Okay, so feminine, plural. Ben, why do you think it's feminine? Because it ends in S?
I can't remember if it's if ending in S is
Okay. Who said plural? Okay, why did you say plural? Okay, so it's plural because it ends in S, but why do you think it's feminine? Not because of the S, because it ends in A. Okay, good. But let's look at what that word before is, the article, los. Los días. What does los mean? What is that word? It means, it's one of 4 words that all mean the same thing in English. The, right. So, the days. Now, do you remember the chart? We've got singular, plural, masculine, and feminine. And these here. What, which square was los in? Bottom right. It was el, la, los, and las. Okay, so that means los is what? Masculine, right? So, yes, días looks feminine because it ends in an A, not the S, but because it ends in an A. However, it is irregular, and you should always make sure you know whether a word is masculine or feminine, and double check it. Yes, you can use the A or the O or the other letters to try to identify it, but sometimes it's going to be irregular. And so you should double check yourself by the other words, like articles and other adjectives, that are going to be clearly masculine or feminine. Okay, so los días is masculine. Los días, what is day? Huh? Day, any guesses? The days of the. De la semana. Okay, Ben, let's try this again. Feminine or masculine? Feminine. It ends in an A though. So how do you know? Because of the la. The la. Okay. Good. So the days, notice that the is plural here, and the, same word in English, no different, but it's different in Spanish. This one is masculine plural. This one is feminine singular. They're complete opposites. But in English, they're both the word the. But they're different because they're each describing a different noun. Days and week. Week is singular. Days is plural. Okay, so the days of the week. Los días de la semana. In Spanish countries, first of all, the first day of the week listed is usually going to be Monday. Okay, so in English, in America, we have the first day as Sunday because that's the Lord's Day. And so we just start off, with worship at church. But in the South American countries, they just do it differently. So, and that confuses me sometimes. I think one time our pacing calendar got the dates off because I had my computer in Spanish because I was trying to type in Spanish, and I didn't realize that it switched the dates on me. So make sure that you know that the first day is Monday. So when you look at a calendar and you see the first day there on the left is lunes, don't think that that's Sunday, okay? That's Monday. So let's read these together. Lunes is Monday. Martes is Tuesday. Miércoles is Wednesday. Jueves is Thursday. Viernes is Friday. Sábado is Saturday. And Domingo is Sunday. Okay, so let's try to make sure that we understand where these words are coming from. Lunes, what does lunes remind you of? Anybody know of a other root word, and not a verb in Spanish, but like an English word that is similar to where the word lunes comes from? Loon, which is what? Like, how do you spell that? Are you talking about loon, like this? Like a bird?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good guess, but different root. This is L-U-N, like lunar, exactly. Lunar. What does lunar refer to? The moon. Did you ever realize that those are related? Moon and Monday. Okay, so lunes is Monday because they both refer to the moon. So that's lunes. And then martes is Tuesday. I'm not sure where that comes from. I think it has something to do with Mars, but I'm not sure. So miércoles. Make sure you have the accent. Miércoles. Thursday. Jueves. Jueves comes from Jove. Like, somebody will say, like, by Jove. Jove is a Greek god. So I think they're sometimes related to Thor. Jove. So, actually, I have a story. Let me pull it up. I have this really cool Bullfinch's mythology of the age of fable. Let me find where it said Jove in here. Jove. G-H-I-J. J-K-L-J. Jove. Jove is another name for Jupiter. Jupiter, which is similar to Jueves, the J-U, right? Jupiter. Jove is another name for Jupiter, the latter being Jovis Pater, the father Jove. So let's see Jupiter. What does it say about Jupiter? Jupiter, from Jovis Pater, father Jove, also called Jove, and in Greek is Zeus. So Jove is Zeus. The supreme deity of classical antiquity, father of gods and men, son of Saturn and Rhea, brought up under the daughters of King Melissus of Crete. So anyway, we could go on reading more about that. But this comes from Jove, which is Zeus. Okay, then after Thursday is Viernes, Friday. Saturday, Sábado. Anybody know what word that's related to? Sabbath, exactly. So Sabbath. Why would Saturday be the Sabbath?
Because it's the day of rest.
That's Saturday is the Jewish day of the Sabbath. Exactly. So where do you think Domingo comes from? What word is that related to? Domingo. In English. I have a board game that's named after this word that I really like. It's actually a card game. Wait, what?
I was going to say dominoes, but...
Not dominoes. That's a good guess. I think that is related, but I'm not sure why. Dominion. Dominion. Okay, so dominion is a Latin root, which is where Spanish comes from, and it refers to an area that is in the control of a lord, right? Like a medieval lord. That's where that comes from. And that word lord is also what we use to refer to God. And what do we call Sunday in like Christian tradition? We call it what day? Anyone know? Huh? It is the Christian Sabbath. You're right. So Sábado refers to Saturday as in the Sabbath because that's where it comes from, the Jewish tradition, right? But Sunday is referring to, it is the new Sabbath, but why? Why is it the new Sabbath? Because what happened on Sunday? Jesus died and he rose again from the dead on Sunday, right? So Sunday is the day we refer to as the Lord's Day. At our church, I go to church and I say, hey, have a good Lord's Day. It's Sunday. That's the day, the whole day. We give it to him in worship. And that's what the fourth commandment says. We should honor the Sabbath. We should honor God's day. So in the Christian tradition, it changed from Saturday to Sunday because Jesus rose and he is the Lord of the Sabbath. And so this is the Lord's day. So Domingo refers to the idea that Sunday is the Lord's day because there's dominion. That's the same root. So we've got 7 words. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, y domingo. So let's say those together. Say them with me. lunes. Say it with me. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. One more time. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, y domingo. Okay, so the days of the week and the months of the year in Spanish are not capitalized. That's something you should recognize, because in English we always capitalize them. If you want to say on Monday, you actually don't use a preposition like on or at or to. You just say the. So the Monday, el lunes, or el martes, or el miércoles. Or if you're going to say on Mondays, then you would say los lunes. But notice lunes is stayed the same. Okay, it wasn't lunes seis, like plural of lunes or something. So el lunes, los lunes. The same pattern applies to the other days of the week. How do you say the weekend? El fin de semana, which literally means the end of the week, or end of week. So el fin de semana. The end, right? Fin, like finish. Fin, day of week. The end of week. Fin de semana. And if you're going to say weekends, you say las fines de semana. Semanas. I'm sorry. Los fines de semana. The ends of week. So. Okay, some question words. How do you say what day is today? Well, the word for today was hoy. H-O-Y. So let's write this over here. We got hoy, which means today. So what is today? ¿Qué es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? ¿Qué día es hoy? And you would answer and say, hoy es lunes. Today is Monday. Or hoy es... ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today?
Today's Tuesday.
No. Not in English, amigo. Well, you said Tuesday. And this is today. So how do you say it?
Martes.
Well, you want to say hoy, today, es martes. Okay? So we would say hoy, today, es, and then the day. Okay, if we want to ask about the date as opposed to day, the word for day is día, like we said, los días. But the word for date is fecha. Fecha, that means the date. So, ¿cuál es la fecha? Notice the word changed from qué día, what day, to ¿cuál es la fecha? Which is the date. ¿Cuál can mean what or which in English, depending on how you translate it. But just make sure you recognize you don't say ¿qué es la fecha? You say ¿cuál es la fecha? To ¿cuál es la fecha? And then you would respond by saying es el 6 de octubre. Y hoy, today, ¿cuál es la fecha? ¿Cuál es la fecha? Hoy. What is the date today?
So hoy is just it is, right?
Today is.
Okay.
¿Cuál es la fecha hoy? What is the date today? Somebody say? Who said that? You did? Oh, okay. SL. Oh, you know the date. Okay, good. Yeah. 20. Just 20th. Yep. Today's the 20th. 20. What? The 20th. Perfecto. De octubre. Bravo. Okay. Es el fin de clase. That's the end of class. Any questions? ¿Algunas preguntas?
Can you say what day is it again?
¿Qué día which means what day. ¿Qué día is hoy, today. Also, make sure you know that the H is silent. H's are always silent. So it's not hoy, it's hoy. Like you're expressing shock and awe when you're in Britain. Oi! Like that. But just not with such emotion. So. ¿Más preguntas? Any more questions?